definitely very common ban selections getting it taken here in the first rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully we'll get the ball rolling and get through the ban and draft phase here so we can get you guys into an exciting game 2 between the Kardashians and Rogue. And a Arden picked up here early on by the side of the Kardashians. And while the Grace was on the table, we do typically see both Thug Nasty Larry and Marto. They do like to fall back onto this Arden. It's something they've been playing for a long time. It functions well with just about any team composition you can put together. But I don't know about you, Bacon, but to me, one thing Arden lacks is he doesn't really specialize in anything. He's just kind of an all-around hero. He has a little bit of additional damage he can provide. Obviously, he has the barrier, and then he has the gauntlet. But it can be a little difficult at times to set a almost like a direct win condition because, again, he's almost too flexible in what he can do. It's at least in my opinion, he's a good all-around captain. But if you want to execute specific plays, sometimes he can be a little bit of a difficult captain to do so with.
It really does just depend on, what the rest of your draft is going to be focused around. You usually want you use Arden a lot to deny mobility, try and set up areas where you can just lock down targets and just absolutely annihilate them from there. But with a Krull and a Grace on the opposing side, Arden can actually do quite well against both, applying that little bit of extra movement speed to whichever target is going to be focused down by this Krull. Ooh. And they go for a Baron on Kardashians, and this is one of those picks that Gatsby obviously has changed his name. So for those of you wondering why we keep saying Gatsby, and there is no Gatsby in this game, Gatsby is still the carry for Kardashians. The Baron was one of his most picked and most successful heroes on the stretch in 2017.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll have to see what they pick to pair it with here. Normally we do see a Baron. He is going to be looking to be that hyper carry, and you usually run something in the jungle that can just help protect him. And, against a Krull, Blackfeather can definitely be one of them. He provides a lot of poke. Doesn't give the same kind of safety as, when we once saw the Crystal Glaive was once very big with the Baron, just because you could constantly have the afterburn up ready to go and create distance for your Baron. And against a Krull, something like that might have been pretty useful, because right now, the way I'm looking at it, the Krull and the Grace, that's going to be a very durable front line duo that's going to look to get onto this Baron and try to shut him down and get those weakness stacks up as early as possible.
And a Celeste as the final pick for Rogue. This is a Hammy special. And for the side of Rogue, it's one of his heroes that he can pull out really seemingly on any update and have a great amount of success with it. So I'm actually really looking forward to seeing this one being played here. And up against a Baron, it's one of those matches where early on, the Celeste can actually get a pretty sizable advantage over a Baron just because of that massive range that she will have with the Helios. Obviously, when you get to level 8, Baron starts jumping around with those jump jets, avoiding crowd control and just trying to nuke targets down. But if the Celeste is able to just start tagging him early on, then she can find a lot of success. But I'm a little... The only hesitation is that Blackfeather generally does pretty well into a Celeste, but that is the weapon Blackfeather that is normally really strong against Celeste. This is almost certainly going to be a Crystal Blackfeather unless Kardashians run a double weapon composition.
Yeah, absolutely. I doubt it. Stormy Cross specifically, when we have seen him play the Blackfeather, he excels very, very heavily on the Crystal Blackfeather. I think that actually is one of the saving graces here for their draft. When Stormy Cross was playing for Rogue, there was a time when Pan, I believe, was in Europe, and Stormy Cross stepped in and subbed in for him. And Rogue actually went on a crazy win streak that week. They were the first team to actually bring down TSM, who was, at the time, undefeated in the Vainglory 8. They were sitting a mountain high above everybody else, and that first defeat to Rogue really kind of brought things to more of like an even playing field. We saw almost a 5-way tie potentially up towards the first place. So Stormycross, very, very good at Crystal Blackfeather. This is basically the main hero that he rode up to the top with Rogue. So I think Rogue has to fear it a little bit, but may also, from having played with him so much in the past, may understand what they need to do to deal with it.
Well, right now we're going to see Rogue starting up this Elder Treant once again. They were able to secure it right off the bat in game 1. This time around, it looks like there's going to be a little bit more opposition as the fight is starting to break out. Some good damage being done, but it is Rogue that secures it. A nice stun from Hammy will keep enemies at bay, but they're still looking to go back on in. Evil diving onto Stormycross. Sibs will get the first blood as they take down that Blackfeather. And now they're going to continue chasing. Jesvis doesn't really have anywhere to go. Another stun from Hammy will set up the second kill. Can they find the third? Absolutely. Thug Nasty Larry with nowhere to go. No ace, but 3 kills and an Elder Treant for Rogue is an amazing start to this game. And now they're going to look to set up to try and take out Stormycross again, perhaps, as he rotates over, but mostly just guaranteeing themselves this middle Treant, denying a little bit more gold away from the side of Kardashians.
Yeah, and it's smart because the Crystal Blackfeather, if he gets an edge early, he can be a absolute monster and devastate teams almost single-handedly. But if you get behind as a Crystal Blackfeather, it can be very difficult to play the comeback game. Even with the Baron on your team, you know, you're up against a Celeste who's going to actually deal very well with the heroes that are trying to poke from a range, because once she hits level 8, and assuming Hammy doesn't accidentally put an extra point into like Core Collapse. Oh, hold on, Thug Nasty Larry! Wow,
Thug
the
Nasty
stage
Larry
on there.
I mean, Thug Nasty Larry, he went down to save Stormycross, but then he came back up through the brush where he knew 2 members of Rogue were waiting. So the decision-making there from Thug Nasty Larry, kind of getting himself killed. If he goes the long way around, he's able to get back into the lane and keep himself alive after saving Stormycross. To be fair, he did save Stormycross, but now Sibs and Evil, they're in this jungle stealing away multiple camps away from Stormycross, so he's not going to be having a very fun go of things here through the first few minutes.
Yeah, not looking to be the case, as Evil once again denying even just a little bit of CS away from Stormycross here in the jungle. Stormy, he's sitting on 1,300 gold, but has not had the taken the chance to shop yet. So if a fight breaks out, 1,300 gold in your pocket, that doesn't help you.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't. But at the same time, Sib's kind of sitting on the same amount, and Evol has almost 2k gold to his name. So not really much shopping has happened yet. Once these teams do make their shop visits, the power spikes are going to become pretty extensive, actually. As you see Sibs, he goes back, starts off with a Shiver Steel. Going to be just really looking to harass down targets as much as he can. So a very, even though it's not an offensive item, it is still a very aggressive item to pick up this early.
Yeah, it definitely is. Thug Nasty Larry is going to have to be careful here. He's quite hurt, but Hammy quite low on energy as well. So you kind of got to be ready to manage these things. Flask used by Thug Nasty Larry. That's now going to be 120-second cooldown on that item. And Rogue, you have to imagine Evil called that out to his team. They know that's down. So if they have an opportunity where they can pick up a kill onto Thug Nasty Larry, they're likely going to take it.
Yeah, the nice thing is it's really easy to keep track of that cooldown, because it is just, like you said, a straight up 2-minute cooldown. So you just look at it, you happened at 4:10, it's going to be up again at 6:10. It's that simple. So they know that until that timing, they can just make plays on Thug Nasty Larry and just really punish that activation. But right off the bat, this is one of the great things about a Krull. If you get an early lead on Krull, you can just go into your enemy's jungle immediately and start working on this Crystal Sentry. You're so durable with your lifesteal, with those weakness stacks. That's first Crystal Sentry down 5 minutes into this game.
Yeah, very early take, and that's something that Rogue really prides themselves in. They have massive objective control, and Stormycross, a little bit of salt in the wounds there, steals it away, and now Sibs is using everything to get out of here. He'll make it out alive, and Hammy, he's going to rotate back up into the lane now and try to get this wave forced up. And Hammy, he's approaching level 7. Still got about a level and a half to go before this Celeste really starts to come online. And while, yes, Celeste really needs 3 offensive items to be at her full potential, level 8 is a brilliant start. Getting that additional range makes it very easy to zone out a player like a Baron or a Crystal Blackfeather who's looking to come in, get a little bit of poke before they make a hard engagement.
And right now, all 3 members of Kardashians are up in the lane, but with a big stun, Hammy is getting a lot of damage on the Stormy Cross. Solar Storm will take care of that. And now Sibs is here as well. They turn their attention on to Baron, but they say, you know what, Thug Nasty Larry, he still have his flask. We can get that kill easily. And then they get the level 6, throw out the From Hell's Heart, find the stun onto Jezvis, and get themselves the ace buff for Rogue. 6 minutes in, 7-0, and you see already very early again, Sibs just going for this gold mine, saying, well, there's not much else I feel comfortable taking, might as well get a gold mine for our efforts.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Bacon. And again, this is how Rogue really excelled in the last season of 2017. Their objective control is almost untouched compared to any other team. You know, I think they, if I remember correctly, held the record for the quickest Crystal Sentry takedowns in Stormy Cross. I told you, he's very proficient on this Crystal Blackfeather. He's been consistently able to steal away CS, and even comes through and steals a gold mine, and now Baron's on the run with no jump jets.
Yeah, but there's not really any crowd control for Sibs yet. He does have From Hell's Heart now, but it's a little bit too late for them to go full-on committing to this fight. If anyone from Kardashians steps a little too far forward, though, you got to figure they would have been getting stunned up. So a good decision to kind of back off. That gold payout is actually going to be really big for Kardashians. If that had gone over to Rogue, this deficit would have started to feel insurmountable already. Even as it stands, it's not going to be a very easy comeback for the members of Kardashians, because Rogue are just very far ahead when it comes to, you know, just being able to output damage. You look at the itemization, you have Hammy with the Dragon's Eye able to just ramp up heavily, whereas Baron not going to be able to get the damage ramp. He's just all about burst. And if they survive that initial burst, which is really easy to do when you have a Grace, all of a sudden the team fights are just going to heavily swing towards Rogue.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way, and the clockwork is huge for Hammy as well. Going to help him spam out those Heliogenesis. But not only the Heliogenesis, that core collapse will be up all the more frequently as well, and that's kind of Celeste's only line of defense. Once this Crystal Blackfeather has come in, you get the stun, you get a Heliogenesis, and you can easily finish a Blackfeather with the direct-to-the-face Solar Storm that we saw in that engagement that Stormy Cross tried to find in the lane.
And they did take out the Crystal Sentry. Looked like Jezvis may have had a little bit of connection issues there, but he is moving again now. That's good to see, but oh, no, never mind. He does still seem to have a bit of an issue connecting at the moment, but hopefully he can get that squared away. As he does start moving again, just going to be recalling, I think, just to try and get himself out to safety, perhaps. But nope, he's got it, looks like, could be under control now and able to go, but as soon as he starts moving, just gets lit up by these Helios, and Hammy just dropping them consistently. It's not going to get a stun, but Thug Nasty Larry, he has to throw out that fountain for the healing to stay alive. Sibs going very aggressive under this turret. Will get a divine intervention, keep himself alive. Hammy can start throwing some Helios underneath the turret as well, getting lots of damage done. The turret's just going to fall. This is Rogue just applying this pressure and not letting up. Crystal Sentry has respawned. They might even just go for this because they know everyone on the side of Kardashians is low, and they have the ability to tank it up. Crystal Sentry eliminated. 9 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yeah, again, Rogue, they're using this scroll to as much of their advantage as they can. And as far as the turrets go, I mean, aside from maybe a Scarf that has open push on a turret, Celeste is probably the best at taking those late objectives. The range she can do it from, and you pair that up with just the massive amount of damage that those supernovas do, even to structures. Celeste is a force to be reckoned with. And
I
when
think the only one that can really compete with her in that would be a Kestrel. And Kestrel can obviously chunk down turrets obscenely fast, so... But right now, oh my goodness, one Solar Storm almost takes out Jezvis as he's just trying to farm up. Meanwhile, Sibs just working on this gold miner. It goes pretty slow because he only has a spell sword for damage, but it's a Krull. He doesn't care about the damage coming out from the gold miner. He can just get it halfway done, and his team rotates over. If they even want to look for a fight, they can do that as well. And it looks like they're actually just going to ignore the gold miner and look for this fight. They don't have a crystal sentry to worry about, so why not? They're going in deep now, blocking. A nice job by Jezvis to block the stun that comes through, but Sibs still in the thick of things, healing on up. Both himself and Evil able to provide so much healing. Evil secures one, while Sibs gets the other, and now Thug Nasty Larry just going to try and escape. He does still have the gauntlet. He didn't throw that during the fight, but he's not going to be able to, he's not even going to use it here. Not going to go down, though. Hammy gives up that chase, as Rogue just want to take this choke point turret while they have the other two members dead.
And again, with the Celeste, easily going to be able to, no problem at all. And Hammy, he's going to go ahead and rotate through the jungle, looking for more of the enemy's farm. And they've done such a good job at shutting down the enemy jungle. They're rotating effectively. Hammy, he's sitting up 30 CS over Gatsby at this point. Sibs almost even with Stormy Cross, but I mean, we kind of expect that out of a Krull. Krull's not really a fast clear speed. Machine. Yeah, but thanks to the build that he's allowed to go, Krull doesn't need a massive amount of gold. A lot of the items that Sibs is going to be looking to pick up are a very protect the Hammy style build, and they're very cost efficient and cheap items. So, you know, he's got all the actual offense that he needs in just the Shiver Steel and the Spell Sword because of the changes to the Shiver Steel. You now get attack speed out of that item, and what does Krull benefit from the most? That attack speed, getting down those weakness stacks, trying to shut down the enemy's damage, and he's done such a great job doing so, and that allows Hammy to be as aggressive as he's been.
Yeah, Rogue are just playing exceptionally aggressive because they have so much confidence right now. They have such a large lead. That's going to be a Baron ult used just to try and get some damage down, but here comes the chase. Nice block on the Holy Nova to prevent the stuns. Jezvis coming over the wall, trying to get onto Hammy, but he gets a Divine Intervention. Is he going to be able to get enough damage out? Fountains are used. Hammy is fighting now Stormy Cross as Jezvis has backed away. Stormy Cross goes down. Evil is just going to be continuously applying slows on Jezvis. He can't get enough damage to find a kill, although he did nearly take out Hammy and Evil. Just not quite enough. And once again, Thug Nasty Larry, last man standing, just trying to prevent the ace from going through, trying to get this minion wave pushed up as far as he can so that Rogue can't make quite as much progress as they may have been able to get otherwise. Gold Miner is going to be targeted. Thug Nasty Larry, I'm not sure that's where you want to be going. I think he's just trying to get them off of the objective, but Rogue is not biting. Gauntlet goes down. He tries to get the steal, isn't going to make it happen, and now he's just going to be sacrificing his life.
Yeah, and that's going to be no ace going over, but it is a staggered death timer. So if the side of Rogue are able to find out Gatsby or Stormy Cross here, they know they've got a couple seconds before Thug Nasty Larry's even on the map, but it looks like Gatsby still struggling to connect here, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it wasn't... The staggered death there isn't that big of a deal because we're only 13 minutes into this denominator. That death time was still so short that Thug Nasty Larry was going to be up before any other fight broke out. So I like the effort there from Thug Nasty, trying to get that steal on the gold miner, just trying to make some plays, trying to do something fancy for the viewers, because this game is almost certainly going to go the way of Rogue. Not quite a perfect game because they did lose out on a gold miner earlier, and I am a purist. I believe that you need to get every single primary objective, you don't have to get every objective, but no objective can go to your opponents in order to get a perfect game. So that gold mine steal has broken up the perfect game already.
That's a pretty fair point, I would say, and that's due to some fantastic plays coming out of Stormy Cross. Thug Nasty Larry, though, he's in a rough spot here as Rogue. They're on the chase.
Yeah, Hammy's a little far behind, but he's going to be able to catch up as all of the slows and stuns come through. They find a kill on to Baron. And both Blackfeather and Arden just gonna run to their base to heal up. And Rogue, they say, you know what? We're not gonna take any chances. We're just gonna go ahead and start up this Kraken and push in for the end with this Siege tool. You do have to be careful, make sure that Stormy Cross doesn't get a steal in, because that Crystal Blackfeather can do a lot of damage from range. But Hammy is just guarding the entryway. Thug Nasty Larry throws down the gauntlet, just trying to buy some time for Stormy Cross to get in here, but Stormy Cross is taking so much damage, gets stunned up and deleted. Is a kill. Kraken secured, and a second kill onto Thug Nasty Larry. And just like that, Rogue are going to be marching their way towards the Kardashian base.
Yeah, and with only 2 turrets and the lead that Rogue have, it's definitely looking like Rogue probably closing this game out here off of this push. Celeste pushing with a Kraken just makes such short work of these turrets, as well as having a couple minions in. It looks like they're probably going to get 1 turret before Kraken even sees this base.
Yeah, we'll see how much more they're going to be able to do. First turret is down, and now they can look for a fight, as Kardashians, they're at least going to fight till the end. They're going to do what they can here, but with only 1 turret remaining and a full health Kraken, along with the damage that a Celeste can do from range, just doesn't seem likely that they're going to be able to stop this at all. They're looking for a kill, Rogue is, but they're not going to find the kill on the Thug Nasty Larry. Instead, Sib's just going to take out the Vein Crystal. They do take down Stormy Cross and Gaspy one last time before the Vein Crystal explodes, and Rogue have just dismantled the Kardashians here in the quarterfinals and will be moving on to the semifinals with a 2-0 series victory.
Yeah, Bacon, both of these games felt like Rogue was pretty in control, but again, we kind of expect that out of a team that's been in the VG8 with such a dominating performance like Rogue has. And while they weren't able to find themselves at the top, they were able to keep themselves out of the challenge battles entirely. And unfortunately for the Kardashians, even with a first split victory, they did fall to a team that ended up going all the way into the Vainglory 8. So we'll have to see more on that as we get into the spring season, which will be 5v5. So we'll have to see how these players start to transition after, this, I believe, is the last large tournament for Vainglory 3v3.
Very well could be. That's yet to be decided. We'll have to wait and see what happens after 5v5 comes out. But for now, it definitely looks like it could be. But again, a great performance from Rogue here, just taking out Kardashians. And unfortunately for Kardashians, not going to be moving on any further in Halcyon Elite League playoffs. But we do have another series for you tonight to get ready for. And in order to do that, we're going to throw it over to DZ at the desk.